Are we live? I think we're live. Okay. So yesterday, I'm sure you heard from my videos that Maduro and his wife were arrested. Trump arrested them. And the radical NDP are mad. Even the liberals, I believe, agree. Carney won't admit it, but because there are some left-wing green liberals who want it support it. But yeah. So I agree with it. But the radical NDP are pissed because they're socialist too. Maduro was a socialist dictator. And yeah, the left are mad because Trump arrested him. So is the Democrats. Even some of the liberals agree. I think even Carney agrees. He can't admit it because of the green liberals like Stephen Gilbert and them, who would probably cause a fit, and Nate Erskine Smith. But yeah, I believe even Melanie Jolie agrees. But yeah, the radical NDP are pissed about it. So I'll show you some posts now in a minute. Oh yeah, and down across the border, I'll speak to you about the American side too. I'll get into that real quick because that's not going to take too long. Then I'll get into the crazy radical NDP. So I'm going to go on X to show you Kamala Harris's, who thankfully lost. Yeah, she's quite radical. Kamala Harris. Yeah, so I'm showing you it on X. Pronouns in her bio. Oh yeah. Not shocked. But this is her tweet. Donald Trump's action. Okay, so Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela do not make America safer, straighter, or more affordable. Well, it's saving the Venezuelans. You know, think about them. How long they were struggling for the past 10 years. That Maduro, brutal, illegitimate dictator does not change the fact that this action is unlawful and unwise. How's it unlawful? You know, like we're saving Venezuelans. You know, they deserve to be freed. You know? And she thinks there's going to be a war out of it. No, he's gone. He's arrested. Anyways, where am I? We've seen this movie before. Wars for regime charge or oil are sold as strength, but turns into chaos, and American families pay the price. Yeah, nuts. The American people do not want this. They are tired of being lied to. How are they being lied to? We freed Venezuela. Like, how are they being lied to? This is not about drugs or democracy. It's about oil and Donald Trump's desire to play regional strongman. No, it's not. It's about freeing the Venezuelan people. You know, improving their quality of life. If he cared about either, he wouldn't pardon a convicted drug trafficker or sideline Venezuela's legitimate opposition while pursuing deals with Maduro's cronies. No, it's about freeing Venezuela. I'll be there because there was a lot of crap happening there. It's not about oil. The left now thinks it is, while they're against oil. Anyways, the president is putting troops at risk, spending billions to destabilize a region and offering no legal authority, no exit plan, and no benefit at all. America needs leadership whose priorities are lowering costs for working families, forcing the rule of law, strengthening alliances, and most importantly, putting the American people first. So that's that. I'm gonna put up Bernie Sanders' radical statement. He supports the Canadian NDP, to put it in perspective. So, this is what he said. President Trump does not have the constitutional authority to attack another country. How's he attacking it? He's freeing it. While 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Oh yeah, Bernie, what are you going to do to stop it? Where are we? He should focus on crises at home and his illegal military adventurism and stop trying to run Venezuela for big oil. He was legit freeing it, And also, even if so, that isn't a bad thing to be trading. Oh yeah. And he helped swear of Saddam Madami, that radical. This is what he said: affordable housing, free childcare, free bus service, and publicly funded grocery stores is not radical. Well, this guy is radical. Now, I believe that's all I have for you, the states that I want to show you. Now, let's get into the most important one, Canada. Okay, so first off, guys, I'm going to show you Pierre Poilievre's statement, which I agree on. Alright, guys, 1 second. Here it is. Congratulations to President Trump on successfully arresting narco-terrorist and socialist dictator Nicolas Maduro, who should live out his days in prison. Yeah, the left once again would hate Trump for doing it to Hitler if it was in the 40s. The legitimate winner of the most recent Venezuelan elections, Mendo Gonzalez, should take office with the courage, hero, and voice of the Venezuelan people, Maria Corina Machado. That was socialism, long live freedom. Also, something else about it, guys, is, it's not about oil necessarily. Obviously, it's good to do trade. He's not just going to steal the whole oil industry. Even if that was, is that bad with trading? If it was a fair trade? But yeah. Alright, that's Pierre Poilievre's. Now let's look at Mark Carney. Mark Carney don't say much, really. He just basically talks about how he don't want to thank Trump, nor he don't want to condemn him, but the reason because of it is because he don't want to take off the lefty liberals nor the business liberals, so he just acts neutral. Personally, he probably does agree with Trump. He could. I think there are some who would. But with it, so yeah. Alright. I think this is his tweet. One of the first actions taken by Canada's new government in March 2025 was to impose additional sanctions on Nicolas Maduro's brutally oppressive and criminal regime, unequivocally condemning his grave breaches of international peace and security, gross and systematic human rights violations and corruption. Canada has not recognized the legitimate regime of Maduro since it stole the 2018 election. The Canadian government therefore welcomes the opportunity for freedom, democracy, peace, and prosperity for the Venezuelan people. Canada has long supported a peaceful negotiated and Venezuelan-led transition process that respects the democratic will of the Venezuelan people, in keeping with our long-standing commitment to upholding the rule of law, sovereignty, and human rights. Canada calls on all parties to respect international law. We stand by the Venezuelan people's sovereign right to decide and build their own future in a peaceful, democratic society. Canada attaches great importance to resolution of crises through multilateral engagement and is in close contact with international partners about ongoing developments. We are the first and foremost ready to assist Canadians through our consular officials in our embassy in Bogota, Colombia, and will continue to support Venezuelan refugees. So I'm not saying anything about Trump, but let's look at Anita Manad's statement, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Okay, here it is. Please see my statement on the situation of Venezuela. Okay. Since 2019, when Canada closed its embassy in Venezuela, we have refused to recognize any legitimacy of the Maduro regime and poses repression of the Venezuelan people, including the persecution of dissenters and particularly political leaders opposed to the regime. In keeping with our long-standing commitment to upholding the rule of law and democracy, Canada calls on all parties to respect international law, and we stand by the people of Venezuela and their desire to live in a peaceful and democratic society. Canada is engaging with its international partners and monitoring developments closely. Canada stands ready to assist Canadians in need through our consular officials in embassy in Bogota, Colombia. Yeah, so like Cardi, he's not speaking about Trump, just basically going on with it. Yes, they might support it, they might not. Support Trump's decision, might not. But, excuse me, I'm going to show you guys the statement from Melanie Joly. I should made a statement here. Crap. Might be on Facebook. Okay. 1 second. Does she have the statement? I don't even know. I'll just do it through my personal Facebook account to show you. No, she don't have anything on this one either. Must have dreamt it. I think someone said that she kind of agreed with it. But yeah, okay. That's that. Alright, now time to look at the radicals. Okay, the NDP party. So let's look at, I think I actually retweeted something from Heather McPherson. Oh yeah, this one was in French, she shared, but I'll show you the English one. Alright, here it is. I'll get it up for you guys. So, she shared Pierre's thing, which I already read to you guys. Okay, so she said this is a dangerous response. Alright, so this is the person running for the NDP leadership, which you probably know if you follow it. This is a dangerous response. Cheering at illegal adoption of foreign head of state and celebrating U.S. control over another country is wrong. Canada cannot pick and choose what international law applies. If the rules only matter when it's convenient, they don't protect anyone. Yeah, so response, while people of Venezuela are celebrating. Rick Perkins replied, "Are you that stupid? He lost the election. He's not democratically elected. He's a socialist despite that you defend. Dictators are okay to you as long as they are socialists like you," which is true. I'm going to like the tweet, actually. I never actually seen it. Yeah. So, you could see my statement on it from Sharon Heather McPherson's. I said, "I don't think it is illegal kidnapping. It is sending someone to jail who destroyed Venezuela, killed many people from drugs. So there's a big drug regime there that killed many people. It was a socialist." drugs. Let the Venezuelans be happy, and they are in a safer place now under a far-left dictator. To be fair, this is why NDP will never form government. Which is true, guys. Mind to follow me on X at Jaxonpiercey. You would see all of my views on things. Yeah, quite opinionated actually, but that's that. Who else could I show you? I'm going to show you Don Davies, the interim leader of the NDP. I don't think, to be honest, Elizabeth May done a statement yet, but oh yeah, here's his radical things. So, yeah, he's very radical too, but okay, so this is his whole tweet. He kept making threads. He said, UN Charter Article 2 brackets 4 is a core principle of international law. It prohibits all states from the threat use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any other state, banning war and corrosion except self-defense or UN Security Council authorization. The U.S. attack on Venezuela is neither an act of self-defense nor does it have UN Security Council authorization. It is therefore totally illegal and a breach of the UN Convention the U.S. has agreed to uphold as a member state. Trump's declaration that U.S. oil companies are going to take over Venezuelan oil production reveals the true motive of this attack: seizure of the largest oil reserves in the world. Trump apologists can spin all they want, but this is clearly illegal, hypocritical, and dangerous. Maybe this reveals why Trump has been so hesitant to hold Putin to account for his invasion of Ukraine. The U.S. can have no credibility upholding international law and the rights of nations when it blatantly violates these principles itself. So, that's that. He was basically warning, apparently, thinks it's illegal when it's not. Like, it's legit. Like, saving Venezuelans, they don't give a crap. My favorite YouTuber, Wyatt Claypool, said, "The warning is glorious," which is true. I'm gonna like that tweet there. I'm gonna see if Jugbeat Singh made a statement. I know he's not the leader, so he probably don't even care. At this point, no, he never. And Merry Christmas to all those who celebrate. Okay. Now, I'm going to go on my Facebook to see what some of the local NDPs are yapping. Because a lot of them are so left, they boycott X because Elon Musk owns it. But, I'll get that up now. Yeah, so this is the member, NLMHA, Sheila O'Leary. She's an NDP. Okay. I got it here for you. Oh, and she also shared Don Davies' post, which I already read up. Except it's off book, but it would be the same thing. Okay, so she took a screenshot of Pierre's post. She said, "This action is a deliberate attack on the international rules-based order. Premier Tony Wakin, please stand up to democracy and denounce the rhetoric from the federal conservatives." Yeah, once again, very radical. They're socialists. They're basically socialists. So that's that there. So, that's that. Okay. What else? I'm gonna show you guys something else. I'm gonna show you what some other people are saying. On X, just showing you the comments, basically. Nothing more else than that. X, Jaxonpiercey. Okay, I'm going to actually just show you guys the comments of Heather McPherson first. And yet, pissed off Albertan's the name. And yet, given that he married to an ethnic Venezuelan, I think he got more to say in the matter and skin in the game than some white person named McPherson. I know these are just different languages. This says a lot about the communist NDP. Pierce, well, if you're truly sick in the head, which is true, Maple will never understand how a self-proclaimed good Canadian like you can so heartlessly dismiss the cries of freedom from millions of Venezuelans. Is it really that important to you to stay alive with fellow comrades like Maduro? Wow, never forget everyone. Heather McPherson has zero empathy for those people, which is true. Nobody wants to join a leader who thinks a communist is a good thing. Canada, so a lot of negative stuff. Canada can't have you leading anything. Yep, she should be disqualified. Well, I mean, any NDP leader would say, oh yeah, I'm going to show you the other NDP leadership candidate statement now. Tennille Johnson, I believe her name is Tennille. Is that her name? Press is only on Facebook. Crap, you're kidding. It's only on Facebook. Oh well. I'll see Pierre Poilievre's comments now. Oh yeah, and Don Bradshaw, the crazy guy in NL who ran against Carol Anstey and lost, who was a journalist, is complaining about it too. Okay. So I'm all over the place. He's complaining about Pierre's post. So here's his post. Let's look. Yeah. So David Eby needs to be prosecuted. Next. Do you realize that America can and will do the same in Canada anytime we too have oil? He should do the same in Canada. Yeah. Yeah, so Pierre's getting a lot of support. We must free Canada from tax slavery of the Liberal Party too. You know that is not a good thing for Canadian oil, right? Oh boy. Is this going to come back and haunt you? Can we get a better conservative leader? Harper, please save us. Perfectly said. USA, thank you for restoring the T levels on X with this post. Respect. Attaboy. Assuming there is a regime change in Venezuela, when is your wife and her family returning? Oh yeah, I believe this is the guy running for the NDP leader. Is he the one disqualified? Let me check. 2026 leadership. Guys, I'm just on the other tab. He's not the one disqualified, is he? Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he's the one who... Yeah, I thought so. So I don't know why his ex still is running to be... Yeah, but I believe he's the anti-Semitist one. Okay. Congratulations to Poilievre for once again demonstrating total hostility of international law. Yeah, this guy's far left. Yeah, I thought he was the one disqualified. I wasn't for sure. Oh yeah, here's the Dutch protest. 100 rallied in front of the U.S. Consulate today in Montreal to denounce McCarthy's welcoming Trump naked imperial aggression in Venezuela. See, these are NDP.
Viva, Venezuela! Viva, viva la resistencia! Viva, viva, resistencia!
Unreal. Oh yeah, and this is them with their communist Cuba flag. Yeah, this guy's a commie, you know? He wants it to be communist still, Palestinian flags. Yeah, he wants Venezuela to still be communist.
Hands off Venezuela!
Look, they're saying hands up Venezuela.
Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela!
So that's that. Canada effectively endorses Trump's violation of international law, so he's mad at the Liberals too. Kidnapping the head of state, incredible part. It is not possible to imagine Trump did the same thing to Carney or not. You know, Trump wouldn't do that to Carney. You know, yes, I don't agree with Carney on a lot of stuff, but, you know, he's not like that. He's not like Maduro. Okay. Yeah, so, Yeast Engler, I heard, was a very radical one. Alright. Anyone with any questions? Oh, hello, electric jellyfish. Hello. Oh, sorry, but then I was reading something. But you could join back. I'm going to text him. Alright, so any questions about this far-left NDP rhetoric? Oh. Yeah, I'll wait for electric jellyfish to come back. First he'll have some questions, then I'll move on to my next thing. Yeah, guys, I love doing live streams. Willow is barking. Electric jellyfish camp. Okay, so. Oh, yeah. I'll go back to what I was looking at. I'll show you guys some more. Wyatt Claypool made a tweet. Why would that be something Pierce responsible for? He is the one who wants to build a pipeline to strengthen our oil and gas industry. He commented on this person. Bookmark this for when he scripts about decreasing oil prices in Canada. The usual follow. Elon Musk supports the people of Venezuela. Yeah, let's see if Rick Perkins got a tweet here. So we bet that. Okay. Yeah, this is here. Yeah, so this is them. This is them Venezuelans flood the streets for freedom. That's good there. Yeah. Oh, and I'll show you what U.S. Secretary of War said about it. Okay. This is rapid response force.
Experts, and it's
go back to America.
Number one, most of the experts that people have on television, I watch these experts, and it's clown hour. Okay, these are people that have focused their entire career on the Middle East or some other part of the world because that's where all the action was. Very few of them know anything about Venezuela or the Western Hemisphere. Venezuela looks nothing like Libya. It looks nothing like Iraq. It looks nothing like Afghanistan. It looks nothing like the Middle East, other than the Iranian agents that are running through there plotting against America. Okay, these are Western countries with long traditions among their at a people-to-people and cultural level and ties to the United States. So there's nothing like that. So I think people need to stop ascribing the apples and oranges here. The apples of the Middle East to the oranges of the Western Hemisphere.
But do you...
Number two, this is about the national interest of the United States. And what I'm confident of is we are in a safer and better place because we're taking it seriously. The alternative would have been to leave Maduro there as an indicted, the drug trafficker, illegitimate president running the country, open invitation for all of our adversaries to do whatever they want against the United States from Venezuela. That was not going to continue. The alternative would have been to allow a drug trafficker to continue to use national territory and elements of nation-state power to further drug trafficking organizations. Read the indictment. This guy used the levers of their security apparatus not to arrest drug traffickers, but to cooperate and facilitate the trafficking of drugs for the purpose of getting them into the United States. And that's going to stop.
All right, so that's that there. I'm gonna go to Cat Canada. This is what she said. Down with socialism and socialist dictators like Maduro. Socialism starves and kills, it's misery and destruction. Long live freedom. And welfare for... Yeah, and Elizabeth May never made an announcement, but that's what I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna see if she yet made one. She never, as a thing. Oh yeah, she got pronouns in her bio too. No, not there. I'll check and see if she does have Facebook. I would it say, but you never know. Elizabeth May. Nope. So still no announcement from Elizabeth May. I don't know if she's drunk or what. She might be. Alright, I'm gonna look up the Green Party just in case. Sometimes the parties put it there. Believe the Bloc Quebecois made a statement. Crap. Bloc Quebecois. Oh, them are the leader. Okay. Was it French? So if you guys know French, statement by the lead on the American guys. So if you know French, here it is. I don't even know what it means. I might have to translate it, but that's what it is. All right. Yeah, it kind of sucks that they don't have an English version. So that's that. Oh yes, I'm gonna show you what that crazy radical Vancouver City Councilor said. I believe it's Ben Orr. Ben Orr, is it? Or did I dream that? Is that him? I want to look it up. I think that's his name. Vancouver City Councilor. Sorry, guys. Forget his name now. I think it's Ben Orr. I thought it was. No, it's Sean Orr. Okay, so Sean Orr. It's Sean Orr, so... Am I sharing it? Okay. Yeah, so... His party is the Coalition of Progressive, which is quite left. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a pinned tweet. Okay, so share this. Canada shares a very long, very light to defended border with our country led by someone who has abandoned all presence of respect and sovereignty under international law. The range of outcomes witnessed considerably. We have a Liberal Party who refused. This is what he reposted. We have a Liberal Party who refuses to condemn Trump and a Conservative Party that cheers on his lawlessness. This is a corporate party consensus. Did he comment on Wyatt Claypool's post, or did I dream that? So I was watching his videos last night. Go wash some dishes too, Sean boy. Oh yeah, this is the woke congresswoman. Fine, now I need to save tweets. Oh yes, here's Wyatt Claypool. He said, Sean, you're an anti-Semitic communist pro-tier activist. Sit this one out. Yeah. Now, Wyatt Claypool's a good YouTuber, guys. By the way, if you never subscribe to it, please subscribe to him. His channel's got the National Telegraph. I'm none of those things. This is defamation. Cheers. No, it isn't. But, I think he's suspecting Wyatt to go to jail. Look, here it is. Here's a photo from 2021. I want for the destruction of both Israel and Canada. Well, me too, son. Me too. Yeah, he's very crazy. I don't know how he got in. Got in on a by-election last April, or March. Or April, I think, just before the federal election. So that's him. Now let's see if David Eby released. Oh yeah, Dallas Brody released one. I'm going to show you Dallas Brody's statement. So Dallas Brody said the Operation U.S. President Donald Trump executed to capture communist dictator Nicolas Maduro was daring and spectacular. Congratulations to the people of Venezuela on a long overdue opportunity to live free from a socialist dictatorship and reclaim their dignity and future. Yeah, I agree with that statement there. But I'm going to show you. Well, not show you. I'm going to see if David Eby released a statement. I doubt it. Well, probably would to pick up for the dictator. But no. I would have seen one, I think, by now. But yeah, that's that. So, next thing. Next thing I'm going to do is show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you the news articles, I guess. Sorry about this. I'm looking at some stuff. Okay. I'm going to show you something before I show articles, actually. Change my mind. So, this is what Wyatt posted. So, this person, Jake Ledoux, he, him, of course. Pierre Poilievre is essentially declaring war on democratic socialists in Canada. He is saying that any socialist should be kidnapped from their country by the United States. Socialists must let Poilievre that he can't suppress us, not even by force. Either you're admitting socialists in Canada would absolutely act like Nicolas Maduro, even if they got in power. Just be delusional and attacking Pierre Poilievre over literally nothing. Yeah, I don't even know if the NDP would. The NDP wouldn't be that bad. Okay.
Argued with.
This is
Honestly unbelievable how many
Mario
politicians have come out to
Salado.
defend Maduro. Only reason they did this is because Pierre Poilievre said, "Thank you, Donald Trump, for freeing the people of Venezuela." And nothing he said can really be argued with. Trump arrested a socialist dictator and a narco-terrorist. Reality is, Venezuela had already been invaded. And if people want to cite international law, don't take it from me, take it from the Nobel Peace Prize winner, who is also the leader of the opposition that rightfully should have been the president of Venezuela. Instead, they had the dictator Maduro. Check this out.
Some people talk about invasion in Venezuela, the threat of an invasion in Venezuela, and I answered, Venezuela has been already invaded. We have the Russian agents, we have the Iranian agents, we have terrorist groups such as Hezbollah, Hamas, operating freely in accordance with the regime. We have the Colombian guerrilla, the drug cartels that have taken over 60% of our populations, and not only involved in drug trafficking, but in human trafficking, in networks of prostitution. So this has turned Venezuela into the criminal hub of the Americas. And what sustained the regime is a very powerful and funded, strongly funded repression system. Where does that funds come from? Well, from drug trafficking, from the black market of oil, from arms trafficking, for human trafficking. We need to cut those flows. And once it happens and repression is weakened, it's over, because that's the only thing the regime has left, violence and terror. So we ask the international community to cut those sources.
And that's what Donald Trump just did. He just cut those sources. Did you know that 90% of people in Venezuela live in poverty? 50% of which are in extreme poverty. Look at this graph comparing the difference between Venezuela and Poland. Venezuela was always, on a GDP per capita basis, wealthier than Poland. Poland adopted a free market economy. Venezuela went down the path of socialism. Look at that drop and look at that massive, staggering difference.
Yeah, and that's proof that
Poland's
socialism
GDP
is
per
bad.
capita is nearing 35,000 per person. Venezuela's is barely at 5,000. This is what happens under socialist regimes.
Yeah.
Eventually, you run out of other people's money, and this is where corruption flourishes, and you end up having a narco state. The liberals and the NDP talking about international law, let's not forget that Obama illegally invaded Libya. He did it without congressional support or approval. Donald Trump didn't assassinate him. He brought Maduro to justice. Remember, nearly 7 million people fled Venezuela, the biggest displacement in the Americas.
Oh. So this is a Venezuela protest in Portland, Oregon, of far left people who want Venezuelans to suffer more. Free Maduro, free him now. I'm going to show you a clip.
Free Maduro, free him now! Free Maduro, free him now! Hands on Venezuela now! Hands on Venezuela now! Free Maduro, free him now! Free Maduro, free him now! Venezuela to Iran! Venezuela to Iran! No more sanctions, no more bombs! No more sanctions, no more bombs! Venezuela to Iran!
Let's a clip of that. Here's another one. Toronto people supporting Maduro. Hamas supporters. An American consulate in Toronto supporting Maduro with their Palestine and communist flags. I don't think there's any audio here. Oh yeah, let's see if Tim Walz made anything. Let's find it. No, I could go to Governor Tim Walz. No, we don't have anything there. That's surprising. Alright, I'm gonna show you something else. Yeah, so the NDP reacting this is for Canada Pride. The NDP reacted to the overthrow of Venezuela's dictator. Venezuelans acting to the overthrow of Venezuela's dictator. Yeah. Yeah, because the left are all for dictators. Look, they're all about free Palestine, like, like me, because, like, they want Hamas freed. Yeah, and they're the same groups. So that's that. Fight for communism. Communist Party. Oh yes, guys, that reminds me. Let's look at the Communist Party of Canada statement. Yeah, I'm just showing you all the clips mainly. Party of Canada. Communist Party of Canada. I don't know if they tweet. Oh yes, they did. Okay, let's read it. Okay, sorry. Bit louder. Full statement here. So I'll share this on their website. So this is what they said. The Communist Party of Canada condemns in the strongest possible terms the criminal military attack launched by the United States against the sovereign nation of Venezuela. While many details remain unclear, what is unequivocally clear is that the bombing of Caracas and the kidnapping of the country's president a flagrant act of imperialist aggression and a grave violation of the United Nations Charter. The assault, justified with cynical pretext, represents a dangerous escalation made at seizing control of Venezuela and the nation's resources and crushing the right of its people to self-determination. It is an act of terror directed to the peoples of Cuba, Nicaragua, Colombia, and all of the Americas. This escalating pattern of lawlessness, which also manifests in attack on Canada's sovereignty, nevertheless funds the Canadian government actively complain. The act receives the most brutal traditions of the Monroe Doctrine, treated Latin America as a backyard for imperial plunder. While this objective has always defied U.S. strategy in the Americas, these barbaric tactics mark a new stage of lawlessness in Washington's pursuit of imperialist hegemony. Trump's claim that the U.S. is going to run the country of Venezuela until a proper transition can take place confirms that attack is only the beginning of a deeper assault on the Venezuelan sovereignty, making solidarity an action for peace urgency necessary. So on, so on. I'm not going to read it anymore. Yeah. So, second. So, yeah. So that's that. You know, it's not necessarily starting war. No. Despite what the left thinks. It's actually making U.S. ally. Because that guy was killing many people. Yeah. So, any concerns? Any questions? So, I'm gonna show you one thing from the news. So this is Maduro being questioned at New York. So I'll show you this before we get off the stream. If it loads.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is in custody in New York following his dramatic capture in a U.S. military operation in Caracas on Saturday. President Donald Trump says the people of Venezuela are now free of Maduro's dictatorship.
Yeah.
Venezuela's vice president has demanded the U.S. send Maduro back, calling him the rightful president. Maduro and his wife, who was also captured, were brought to the Stewart Air Force Base several hours ago. The couple face federal charges of narco-terrorism and cocaine importation. Maduro was taken to a detention center escorted by drug enforcement officers. Now, with Maduro in custody, President Trump says the United States will govern Venezuela for now. His announcement has divided opinions. Al Jazeera's Patty Culhane joins us from the U.S. Capitol. So, Patty, you're there. Walk us through what we've seen over the past few hours.
Well, really, I think Americans are just tuning in to find out what happened because, remember, this is the holiday period in the United States. New Year's Eve just happened. People aren't going back to work for another day or so. And in this time frame, people tend to just tune out, which is why governments tend to do release information. We believe this raid was supposed to take place possibly a couple of days ago, but weather was a concern. There's some reports of that. So I don't think it's really sunk in for most Americans yet, because again, many people simply don't even know that this has happened. So really, I think what's going to be critical is not just what we hear from Republican lawmakers. We've seen the leadership come out and say that they agree with this raid. The question is going to be, what does the Republican base say about this once everyone learns the news? Because don't forget, this is a president who came to office promising America first, no more foreign interventions.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about that in a second. But first, so Nicolas Maduro, the president of Venezuela, is now in detention on U.S. soil. What happens now? What are the next steps?
Well, one, we need to figure out where his wife, Celia Flores, is, but he will most likely, as Kimberly mentioned, be brought before a federal judge in Manhattan on Monday. He will be asked to make a plea, whether guilty or not guilty. The way things work in this country is he can ask for, if he can either hire his own attorney, or if he doesn't have one, a public defender could be appointed to represent him. And then he'll make his plea, and the judge will decide if he stays in custody, which seems very likely. And then the process begins. And it's federal court. It takes a very long time in this country, months, perhaps even as much as a year, because so much evidence needs to be gathered. But he is facing he and his wife are facing very serious charges under the indictment that was unsealed just hours ago.
All right, Patty, stand by for a second. We want to just run our viewers through some of the reaction to all of this from U.S. lawmakers. So first, we'll start with independent, the left-wing, Democratic Alliance Senator Bernie Sanders. Listen.
All right, let's do
Trump's attack on Venezuela will not make the United States and the world safer. Quite the contrary.
It's not going to be
his brazen violation of international law gives a green light
There's more
to
for war
any
before.
country on earth that may wish to attack another nation to seize their resources or change their governments.
Because they were
This is
enemies,
the horrific
but it's over
logic
now.
of force that Putin used to justify his brutal attack on Ukraine. Let's make no mistake about it. This is rank imperialism. It recalls the darkest chapters of U.S. interventions in Latin America, which have left a terrible legacy. It will and should be condemned by the democratic world.
Okay, so that's one side of the political divide in America. On the other side, while most Republicans are backing Trump, some are coming out against the capture of Maduro. So this is what Trump ally turned critic, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene wrote on X. She wrote in part, Mexican cartels are primarily and overwhelmingly responsible for killing Americans with deadly drugs. If U.S. military action and regime change in Venezuela was really about saving American lives from deadly drugs, then why hasn't the Trump administration taken action against Mexican cartels? And Republican Congressman Thomas Massie posted on X, he wrote in part, AG, again referring to the Attorney General Pam Bondi and others, legally characterized attack in Venezuela as arrest with military support. Meanwhile, Trump announces he's taken over the country and will run it until he finds someone suitable to replace him. So, Patty, back to you now. So, how much of a problem is this politically for Trump, given that a big chunk of his MAGA base is against all of these, as you point out, foreign military interventions?
Well, it depends on how big a chunk that is. So obviously, we've heard from the Republican leadership, the prominent Dems. The rest of the caucus is what's going to matter here, and they will react in large part how the base reacts. Just to put this in perspective, Donald Trump and his presidency is right now, if you look at polls, the lowest approval rating he has ever had, whether it was his first term, his second term. He is facing complaints from his voters over farmers being hurt by the tariffs. The economy is weak. The job market's weak. Healthcare has increased. Everything is much more. There's an affordability crisis in this country when it comes to the cost of groceries, the cost of housing. So he is a very deeply unpopular president. The only thing that's been keeping him propped up is that core Republican base. He still has approval with people who label themselves as Republicans. So the politicians in this country are going to be looking to see how those people react. If they see a growing split, that could impact how they react. Obviously, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tom Massie, Representative Tom Massie, they've been critics of Donald Trump. But it also matters because Venezuela gets a vote here. The rest of the world gets a vote here. This is now owned by President Donald Trump. He has not made it clear exactly how he intends to run the country. Putting troops in Venezuela would be hugely unpopular. So it really depends on how the American people react, how the world reacts, and what happens next.
So that's good.
All right, Patty Culhane there with the view from Washington. Patty, thank you.
So that's the good part about it, though, right? All right, guys. So, yeah. So that's that. We got 2 minutes left. Now 1 hour. That's how long I like my streams going. So, any questions? Give you guys a minute. All right. Nothing. All right. So, guys, I'm going to wrap up the video now. In a sec. All right. So, I'll keep you guys updated on all this. I hope you enjoy your day. Tomorrow school starts again, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll keep you updated on my X and Facebook page. Please follow me on Facebook, Jaxonpiercey, Canadian Politics, X at Jaxonpiercey, and Instagram, Jaxonpiercey15. Also, my website's the link in the description if you would like to to check that out. I update it a bit. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day. Have a blessed day and see you guys. Bye. Bye.